Hello and welcome to Happy Horror Time. My name is Tim Murdoch.
And my name is Matt Emmerd, and today I am going to be ranking, you ready for this, Tim?
Give it to me.
The top 10 creepiest phone calls in horror movies. We know them, we love them. You answer the phone, it's a killer.
Hello? Goodbye.
Who's this? Okay, everyone, I really worked hard on this. I was thinking about a lot of different movies because when you think about it, it's not just the Scream movies that have scary phone calls in them. They've been going around for a long time, and I think I have a good variety in this list. But before I jump into the top 10, Tim,
I've never seen this list.
Yes, he has never seen it.
No.
Before I jump into that, I have two honorable mentions. Why are they honorable mentions, Tim? Good question.
Because you can't make a 10 list?
No, because they're not actually phone calls. They're voicemail or answering machine messages. Just as creepy, but they're not technically phone calls. So I'm
pregnant.
My first honorable mention, I think you're going to love this one. It's a deep cut, is Lisa, the movie from 1990 starring Stacy Keenan, Cheryl Ladd, and D.W. Moffat. Now, the reason why this is creepy, Tim.
Oh, it's creepy.
Yes. The Candlelight Killer, the way this movie starts, the opening scene, a woman gets home and she is checking her answering machine as we used to do in the 90s.
Yeah, this movie is 1990.
Yes, we used to do this in the 80s and the 90s. There were no voicemails, no cell phones, anything like that. So she gets home, she presses her answering machine button, and you hear the Candlelight Killer saying that he's in her house and gonna kill her. And she kind of shakes it off, and then he comes from behind and gets her. And apparently he then sexually assaults her and kills her. But luckily we don't have to see that.
Right?
It's creepy.
Do you know the one thing about the movie Lisa? It's when I was introduced back in 1990, someone said, oh, that's a B film. So someone explained to me what a B film was.
See, I never looked at Lisa like a B film. It
yeah,
felt like a TV
neither.
movie to me.
I thought it was, but it was released in theaters. I do remember the poster up at my local cinema.
And I remember Stacy Keenan, knowing her, and I just remember as a kid seeing that movie and being so creeped out by hearing someone on an answering machine saying, I'm in your house, I'm going to kill you, and then they're actually there. Like, she thinks it's a joke, but it's really fucking scary. Not quite a phone call, but deserves an honorable mention. My second honorable mention is, I mean, you can't mention phone calls without this movie. One Missed Call, as in the 2008 film, even though the original was the Japanese film from 2003. But you really can't isolate one voicemail in this. It's really all the voicemails. Basically, if you don't know this movie, the people receive voicemails and they hear themselves dying like it's in the future of their moment of death. But if I did have to call out the creepiest one that also was a really cool scene, there's a character of Brian and he gets a voicemail hearing his death, and a few moments later he's walking out of a coffee shop and he gets impaled by this huge, like, I don't remember exactly what it is, but something from a construction site. It's very Final Destination-ish.
Yeah, and this in 2008, it was the flip phones,
yes,
if I remember correctly. And I did see this movie twice, and I loved the trailer.
It was Shannon Sossaman, remember?
Yes, from Rules of Attraction.
Exactly, yes. And so it was one of the movies, I didn't love this movie, but the concept of it was great. And, here it's terrifying to hear yourself dying, obviously.
No,
hopefully we
I
would
can
have,
take it.
Yeah, but this was all voicemail, so not actually technically phone calls, deserves an honorable mention. Let's get into the list. You ready, Tim?
Give it to me.
Okay, so I'm going to go through the name of the movie, the specific phone call, because some of these movies have multiple phone calls, but I wanted to pick a phone call that I thought was the creepiest and explain why. Okay. Number 10, I love talking about this movie whenever I get a chance, and it really does have a creepy phone call in it. It is Halloween, as in the original 1978, and is the phone call when Laurie picks up the phone and hears her good friend Linda being strangled on the other line.
Yes.
Now, okay, here's the thing about this movie. This scene. Some people can look at this as slightly comical because of PJ Souls' acting in this scene, but that was the type of character she was playing, like the flighty, like, I'm gonna call Laurie sorry. Da, 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 da.
But it turns scary real quick.
It turns scary real quick. And when you think about the actual specifics of this, imagine, Tim, I'm going to put you in a situation.
Okay.
Like you get a call from me and you answer and all you hear is me choking and it sounds like, and you're like, okay, is this a joke? Big set. But then at the end you hear, it sounds like I die and then you hear someone breathing on the other line.
It's a heavy breather.
It's a heavy breather. And so Michael, who doesn't talk, is just breathing on the line after he strangles Linda. But the idea of hearing your friend being murdered and not knowing what happened is really terrifying.
I would take it seriously no matter what.
Well, that's the thing. The thing is, earlier in the movie, Annie had Crank called her chewing, and she even says in the scene, first I get your famous chewing, then your famous squealing, but it's Linda and she's being murdered. And that's what really prompts Lori to be like, something is fucking wrong next door. I need to go over there. It's just a really, for a movie and a series that doesn't focus on phone calls, it's just one of the creepiest phone calls, well, that is in this franchise because there aren't many, but it's just a really creepy idea and such a well executed scene. So that is my number 10.
Good one.
Okay. Number 9. Now, this one I picked for slightly different reasons. Number 9 is Smile, the original. It's the phone call between Rose and her actual therapist. Now, this is scary, not because of what's on the phone call, but because of what's happening around her during the phone call. Now, let me set the scene for you. We know that Rose, who's played by Sosie Bacon, has the smile curse on her, and her therapist arrives, and she thinks it's just for a chat, and they're like chatting.
They're sitting down in broad daylight.
Yes, in broad daylight. So then she gets a phone call on her home phone and she answers it and it's like, hey, Rose, it's Madeline, your therapist. And right away, like the music cue changes and like it's the actual therapist. And she realizes the person sitting in front of her is a supernatural entity. But what makes this even more terrifying is the supernatural entity gets up. First, it smiles, that creepy, terrifying smile, gets up, walks over the couch, starts laughing in this demonic voice, says, I think it says soon, or it says almost time, Rose, and it starts approaching her and grabs her face and laughs. Now, again, not specifically the phone call, but it's the phone call that prompts the realization that this entity is the person sitting in front of her. Don't you remember that scene being terrifying?
Yes, I do. And, you know, I think both Smile 1 and Smile 2 are both very effective films. So great job. And does the sequel have a lot of phone calls?
She has it is similar realization when she's in the car with her friend and her friend calls, but it's almost like you can't do the same thing twice. So like, well, I mean, you can, but it wasn't as effective. And something about the way this therapist as the entity walks over the couch, like anyone approaching me by walking over my couch is going to scare the shit out of me.
I agree. Well, just anyone being in my house.
Yeah, anyone, even if it's a friend.
Right. I'm like, get out. What are you doing here?
Yes, exactly. Okay. Moving up the list, number 8. You knew that these movies were going to be in there, and I picked this very specific one and a specific phone call. Scream 3, the phone call with Sydney, where Ghostface is impersonating her mother's voice. Now, let me explain why I picked this, because there's so many layers to the scene that make it so good. First off, Sydney's moved off the grid and she's working under an alias, Laura, for a women's crisis health center.
She's alone in the woods.
Yes, she's alone in the woods. So she gets a call, assuming it's through work, and it's a woman's voice that's crying, saying like, I think I've killed someone. I think I should. And she's like, you should probably call the police. And she says, no, I need to talk to you, Laura. Sydney starts to realize the voice is sounding a lot like her dead mother's voice. And she's like, who is this? You sound familiar. And then the killer in the mother's voice taunts her by saying, don't you know your mother's voice? Now, of course, that's terrifying enough. But then she asks her to turn on the news to see that there's been killings.
How did she say it?
Turn on the news. Yeah. But then the killer's voice, or the dead mother's voice, switches to the Ghostface voice and says to her, just one question. Do you think it's over, Sydney? Do you? And then she realizes that the call came in on her home line, not her work line. So there's so many different layers to this because number 1, she's hearing her dead mother's voice. Number 2, she gets a call at her home when she's supposed to be living off the grid. Number 3, it's the killer who's Ghostface and then posing as her dead mother. So there's so many things going on. It's very scary. And Neve Campbell's so good in this scene. You can see her emotions, like recognizing her mother's voice and then realizing, oh my God, the killer has found me. It's just really well done.
Do you have a home phone?
No.
Because it would be called a homo line.
Oh, wow. Ooh, wow.
Listen, they can't all be gems.
They can't all be gems, but they can be uncut gems.
Uncut gems.
Exactly. Okay, so that is number 8, Scream 3. Number 7, this I'm going way back, about 80 years for this, but this is a movie I saw very young that had a big effect on me. It is Sorry, Wrong Number, the 1948 movie, and it's the phone call at the very end of the movie between Leona, her husband Henry, and then the killer who picks up. Do you know this movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think my high school did the play.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. So first off, it was based on a radio play. That's so cool that your high school did the play.
It was really good. I really liked it. I think I saw it. It was, I mean, my brother's class did it, but I went and saw it twice.
That's so cool. Yes. So it's based on a play that came out, I think, 5 years before the movie, which was 1948. But so Leona is this bedridden woman who overhears a plot to kill someone, and she slowly finds out that she is the victim, and then she finds out, to make matters worse, that her husband has ordered the hit because he's trying to get her life insurance money. The phone call that is really scary, at the very end, she's on with her husband and he has a change of heart and he's like trying to help her survive and saying, get to a window, scream. And as she's on the phone, the killer is slowly coming up the stairs. You see the shadow approaching and she's terrified and screaming and he's like, just get away, and she can't. And then suddenly you hear one big scream. Phone line goes dead. But what makes it even creepier is the husband tries to call back and the killer answers and just says in a deadpan voice, sorry, wrong number. You like
the
that,
end.
Tim? And then the movie ends. It is, I remember as a kid seeing this and I was so terrified. I was like, did they just kill the main woman and end it?
Yeah. Yes, they did.
Yes, they did. And I was just like, wow, the 1940s, like really putting it out there. Yeah. It was not a happy ending, but something about like her seeing the killer creeping up as she's on the phone and she can't get away. And and then the killer picks up and says, sorry, wrong number. The name of the movie. It's just genius. Great, creepy phone call.
But I remember in high school, it was like a vignette. Like there were 3 different little things. So is it like a really short play within another play?
The movie is a full length movie.
Oh.
It just goes into like you see shots, like you see much more of their background and what led to the husband like having disdain for her and just wanting her money. And you see everything that they probably describe in the play. They like act out and see it. Okay, number 6. This should not be a big surprise to anyone because this is known for its creepy phone calls, and I'll call out the one specifically, but this is The Ring, the original Ring, number 6. The phone call after Rachel watches the tape. Rachel, who's played by Naomi Watts. Now, this is the very first 7 days phone call, and this started like 7 days, like in the whispery voice, became such like an iconic line.
I remember I saw The Ring, and it was the first time I was scared in a long time.
Yes, me too.
Even though now we can't be because there's no such thing as videotapes.
Yeah. I mean, there are, but you're not going to watch them.
No.
Yeah. So Rachel, just to set the scene before the phone call, Rachel's investigating these mysterious deaths, which leads her to this like inn in the middle of nowhere. And she watches this creepy videotape, which, by the way, if we ever do a ranking video for creepiest videotapes, this should be on it.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
But right after she watches the tape, she gets a phone call and it's a little scary girl's whispering voice. And all it says is 7 days. But it kind of like sends a chill down your spine because you know what happened in the opening scene with Amber Tamblyn and how she ended up. And she said she had gotten a call. So you know that this is leading Naomi Watts to whatever is going to happen. And it's just very terrifying. And that whole 7 days.
I love 7 ideas.
7 ideas to kill you. That whole thing led to like such a big like moment in horror, that phone call. So it's just really creepy and it was just great.
And Scary Movie 3 does it with Pamela Anderson and Jenny McCarthy.
Yes, that opening scene is hilarious. And then they have Regina Hall fighting the ring girl.
Yeah.
It's really funny. Yeah. Okay. Number 5, and I know Tim is going to really like this one. And if you guys haven't seen this, you really have to check out this movie. Number 5 is Eyes of a Stranger, a 1981 slasher movie. And it is the opening calls with the character of Debbie. Now, just so you know, like this movie starts, it's already established that there is a killer of women on the loose. And this woman, she's walking home alone from her job. She gets to her apartment and you see someone in a phone booth calling her, and he calls her like 4 times. The first time he says in the creepiest voice, "Is that you, Debbie?" And he's like all weird and laughy and scary. Then he kind of laughs at her and hangs up. The next couple times he calls He first kind of taunts her. He mentions how he knows she's not wearing a bra.
Yeah, the films of the early 80s towards women are so mean-spirited.
I know. And he's like, but I mean, he's saying that to taunt her as in, I can see you or I was watching you. But the final time he calls, the creepiest, he sings in like a sing-songy voice, "I'm gonna kill you, Debbie," and then hangs up. And it's really fucking scary. She's alone. And then what ends up happening is he ends up sneaking into her place, and you actually think she's gonna be safe because her boyfriend arrives, but he takes out both of them in a really good kill scene, which I won't spoil. But the phone calls with her are so creepy. And this movie, I think, is such an underrated slasher.
I agree. It leaves you like with an eerie feeling.
Such an eerie feeling. When you watch this movie, it's the type of movie that, like, when you want a movie to truly make you feel...
You'll
like,
check under your bed. You'll check behind doors.
And if you watch this alone, it will scare you.
Don't do that.
There are so many scenes when, like, women are walking home, and then, but especially this one, when she receives these calls, and the voice he uses is so creepy. Like, this movie, one of the best creepy phone calls. Well, I guess top 5 best, because I rated it number 5.
Doesn't that remind you of, in the same vein, remember 10 to Midnight?
I didn't see that. You
saw
that.
You watched it with me.
With the naked guy?
Yeah.
No. You told me, or did I watch it?
You watched it with me because you just were like, the naked guy? So clearly you've seen it.
I remember you telling me about it, but I don't remember the movie.
Well, he used a lot of phones.
Oh, okay.
He was very into phone calls.
Oh, phone calls. Were they like dirty phone calls?
Yeah, they were filthy.
Oh. That's funny. Okay, so moving on to number 4. Number 4, a very short phone call, but very, very effective, is A Nightmare on Elm Street, the "I'm your boyfriend now" phone call with Nancy Thompson. So just to set the scene, Heather Langenkamp, who plays Nancy, her boyfriend has just been massacred next door, and out of frustration, she's unplugged her phone and she's like trying to get out of her house, but then the phone starts ringing even though it's completely unplugged, and you're like, what the fuck?
I love that she still answers it.
Yeah, so she answers it, knowing if you're gonna answer an unplugged phone, it's gonna be something scary. And you hear Freddie's voice on the phone saying, "I'm your boyfriend now."
And then he goes like...
He kisses, and a huge tongue comes out of the phone and like kind of licks her a little bit. And first off, I had never seen that before. Had you?
No, that's my first time. And she also has a very genuine response. She throws down the phone and like kicks it and stomps on it.
Yeah, it is just so creepy because not only you know that he's already killed her boyfriend and he's calling her to basically tell her that, but the phone call from the phone being unplugged already is scary enough. But then the tongue coming out, very unexpected. I mean, now watching it, we sort of chuckle a little, but the first time I saw it, I was terrified that Freddie was like gonna like swallow her up from the phone.
I wonder where that phone is today. Who has it?
Who has it? Get it. Tim, make a call.
Oh, okay.
Make a call from your case.
They say it's in a museum.
Oh, got it. It sort of blurs the line between what's reality and what's in the dream world, but like she hadn't been sleeping for so long that like she's kind of dreaming while she's awake anyway. But it really short, but very well done. Okay, so now we're in the top 3, and I'm going to give you a hint, viewers, as to what number 3 is. If you look at my shirt, number 3 is Black Christmas, the original, and it is the first call from the killer with the sorority girls.
Oh, it's filthy.
Okay, so now the killer does make a bunch of terrifying calls in this movie. He's doing gibberish, he's yelling shit, but this is one of the scariest because of how it ends. And this is why. So first, the killer, who the sorority girls have nicknamed the Moaner, calls up, and they're all listening to him, and he is being filthy. I mean, he's saying piggy cunt. Yes, I said it.
I know. It always shocks me.
He's saying lick it, like the dirtiest stuff you could hear. And he's also like yelling and doing weird voices, so it's creepy and weird. But what's the scariest part is that most of the girls are really scared, but Barb, played by Margot Kidder, grabs the phone and tries to tell him off, and then he says very calmly, in the most deadpan way, "I'm going to kill you."
Click.
Like just like that,
right?
And click.
Yeah.
And it just, again, I hate to keep using it, sends a chill down my spine, but like it gives me goosebumps when I think about it, because he's been doing all this screaming, this moaning, these obscenities, and then he just deadpan, "I'm going to kill you."
I always want to watch this with my family, but then I remember this phone call. I was like, I'm too old to feel uncomfortable.
I know, but the thing is that if you don't have, Tim and I love to watch this with subtitles. You can hear and read everything the killer says. If you don't have subtitles on, it is hard to hear all of the obscenities. So what I would think is watch with your family, turn it down a little during that
so
part.
So they can read it.
Yeah, no, turn off subtitles. Yeah.
I want them to. If I'm going to feel uncomfortable, I want to feel 100% uncomfortable.
Oh, again, then put on subtitles so they can read piggy cunt. Yeah. Okay, so the whole phone call is so unsettling, but the ending just solidifies it for me as just one of the most terrifying phone calls. Obviously, a little bit of an honorable mention to this movie for the just like having a wart removed call.
Just like having a wart removed.
That's really creepy too, because Olivia Hussey has just told her, she was talking with her boyfriend, right?
So we all know that the call was coming from inside the house, so clearly he heard the conversation.
Yes, he heard her conversation because she's talking about like having an abortion and he doesn't want her to, and there's all this odd stuff. So that's kind of second, but I think the call with Barb at the end is the creepiest. Okay, now we're up to the top two, and both of these are gems. I think number 2 should be on everyone's list for scariest phone calls. But I mean, number 2 and number 1. But number 2 is the obvious one, the original Scream from 1996, the opening phone call with Casey Becker.
And next year's the 30th anniversary.
That is crazy. Now, the thing about this is that it's just such a brilliant opening scene in general, but it starts with this incredible phone call. And it's sort of almost like the evolution of the archetype of the calls coming from inside the house. Because now it's like we have cell phones, so the call's coming from right outside the house and I'm watching you. But the best part is that it starts very calm. The killer is having a conversation with her about horror movies and they're discussing it. And then one little slip up line starts the whole tension building when he says, I want to...
what did you say?
When he says, I want to know who I'm looking at.
What did you say?
Oh, I want to know who I'm talking to.
What did you say?
You didn't say that. Yeah. So, but then everything that happens, like it just really builds the suspense. The suspense?
I love suspense.
The suspense in such a great way. Like, of course, it starts building and building. He rings the doorbell, tells her if she hangs up on him, he's going to gut her like a fish. But it gets to the point where she's still on the phone the whole time. She has to see her boyfriend get gutted outside. And then the killer finally breaks into the house, and obviously you see him in the costume, and that's terrifying. But to make this even more full circle as a phone call, the whole ending where the mom comes in and hears her daughter still on the phone suffering.
Casey, babe.
Not my daughter. Not my daughter.
Not my daughter.
It's just like I love the brilliance of keeping the phone up on the whole time so everything is heard. So it goes from like lighthearted to scary to like lethal to just suffering and a horrible
sadness.
Yeah. So and then poor obviously Drew Barrymore not making it from that scene was a shock, but that phone call.
I wish that scene was a classic.
That scene is so like world renowned in horror as a phone call. Amazing. So you're probably wondering, well, then why wasn't it number 1, Tim? And I'll tell you.
Please tell me.
Okay. Number 1, and this scene always creeps me out, gives me goosebumps, can't watch alone. The scariest phone call for me is When a Stranger Calls, 1979, the opening call and really the whole opening scene with Jill Johnson.
Played by Carol Kane.
Exactly. So first off, this opening scene, I'm going to take a little bit of time on this one because of why I love it so much. This opening scene is so creepy, even from the start when she's walking to the house. It's so dark and scary already. She's babysitting. She's alone. There's no lights on. There's a grandfather clock like ticking back and forth, and she starts getting calls, and the killer says, have you checked the children? Now, there are children upstairs, but the parents...
Sleeping.
Yes, the parents...
I've actually been in a situation where I've gone to the house and they said the children are sleeping. So really, I never saw them.
Wait, so you were babysitting?
I was babysitting.
So that's the thing. The parents told her before this, don't wake up the kids. They're not feeling well, so they just got to bed, so don't wake them up. So she doesn't want to go up and check the children, but she keeps getting this call from someone saying really deadpan and scary, have you checked the children? Well, she proceeds to check everywhere in the house but where the children are, and she keeps like thinking about it. Should I not? But finally, the killer calls and says, why haven't you checked the children? And at this point, I would have checked the fucking
Oh
children.
my gosh, I
Yeah.
totally would have.
But it's lucky that she didn't, because she calls the cops, and the cops, as usual, they keep like, oh, it's nothing, big deal, you're fine, whatever.
Cops in horror films are never
Helpful. But they do say they will trace the call if she can keep him on for a while. So he calls one last time, and weirdly, after all these times only saying, have you checked the children, this time he starts by saying, it's me. Hey, it's me.
Yeah, he's like, I've given up on trying to scare you because it's already scary enough.
But one of his answers to her questions is just so terrifying. She says, what do you want from me? And he says, your blood all over me. And
You
he
know
says
what?
it's so creepy.
That's kind of
Dirty.
sexy. I like it.
Well, not blood.
No. That's actually very disturbing.
That is very disturbing. It's so disturbing. And he hangs up as soon as he says this. But of course, this is where it gets terrifying, because the police call, and the music is so well in this. And they say, you know, get out, the call is coming from inside the house. Like literally the movie, I feel like that made, maybe there are other movies before
Black
this.
Christmas came out before this.
Yes. Oh, yes, that's true. So this, but like literally says the call is coming from inside the house. But that's when she realizes, oh my God, this guy's in the house with me, probably with the kids. And as she sees the door upstairs opening and she sees a shadow coming out, and she's like messing with the locks of the front door, trying to get out, finally gets it open, runs into a cop and screams. This part gives me the chills every time.
Me too. And you know what's, I mean, the downside about this movie is that you really can't top the beginning.
No.
Like the rest of the movie is kind of like, meh, meh.
I like the ending. The ending scene when Carol King comes back older with her husband, that is really scary. And I don't even want to give it away, but what happens, that seems really scary.
And there's also the one with Jill Schoelen, When a Stranger Calls Back.
Yes, and well, Carol King came back to that, but the middle of this movie is kind of weak. I mean, this opening is so good. Like I said, it gives me the chills every time.
You make me want to watch it.
And you find out that the children had been dead for hours. So literally the killer was trying to lure her upstairs. So the fact that she didn't check the children is actually a good thing. And he was trying to lure her upstairs.
So lesson learned. Don't be a good babysitter.
Don't be a good babysitter. Don't check on children if you get a call.
Not necessary.
It is so scary. And for me, that tops the call in Scream as the most terrifying and creepiest phone call in a horror movie.
There's a scariness to the 70s and 80s horror films, just because we did have phones, but houses seemed bigger and spookier.
And we didn't have cell phones to be able to just text someone and call someone at a whim. You know, again, technology
really
was less.
felt
You didn't have
alone.
the internet. You really did feel alone. That's exactly how to say it. And also, like, by Scream, because it was such a smart script, they had some witty and fun dialogue that you sort of laugh at. That's the whole charm of Scream. There's no laughing in this scene. And When a Stranger Calls, it is just pure terror. The music and just every element, the way the camera focuses on little, like, dark things in the room. You even see she's near a couch, and behind her, it's all dark. Like, I want her to turn on the lights.
Speaking of that, this is a quick story. When I was a babysitter back in the day, the kids were already in bed, but they did tell me that there was ice cream in the basement. But they said, but the lights burnt out in the basement.
Fuck no.
So I was like, well, how am I going to get that ice cream?
I mean, that is a problem.
It was.
Did you get the ice cream?
I'll
never tell.
I can't even remember. I hopefully
good story.
Because I didn't go down, so I guess I never did.
Like, who says, oh yeah, just go down? That sounds like someone's like trying to lure you.
Yeah, I was like, those kids are trying to kill me.
Hey Tim, have you checked the children? Never.
No, but I'll check the ice cream.
Have you checked the ice cream is right. Anyway, let us know in the comments below, what are your favorite, or scariest and creepiest phone calls in horror movies? What did you think of this list? How would you rank these movies?
Matt, I'm getting a call.
What's that, Tim?
I don't know.
Is it my 1920s phone ringing that isn't connected?
You should probably answer it.
Okay. Well, the phone usually stops ringing. Answer. Hello? Who's this? You want to see what my insides look like? Oh, Tim, it's your date from last weekend.
Oh, man.
Creepy. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.